A huge thank you to Jeff Holmes for bringing you today's video via Patreon. Ivy versus Ginny Faye, and we have an okay hand. I like the Fierce Guardianship, so I'll keep that. We get down a tap land. Our opponent plays Impulsive Pilferer, so looking to make treasures with that. Drawing to another land, so we'll get down our Ivy Gleeful Spellthief. Then our opponent plays a tap land and offers up the trade. We will not take them up on that. Just hoping they don't have a lightning bolt here. Drawing 2 Rune of Flight, which is another cantrip aura. We want as many cantrip auras in the deck as possible. Don't think we're going to get down the Trumpeting Gnar for 5 mana anytime soon, so I'll just get out an extra body into play. And then we'll swing in our opponent for 2 commander. Alright, and there we go. It's not a lightning bolt, but it is a Swords to Plowshares, so luckily held up the Fierce Guardianship. We'll protect our commander here and counter the swords for free. Alright, into another mutate creature, that's Gemrazor. Don't have much use for that yet. So we'll go for the buffs first of all. Argument to be made for the 2 cantrips so that we can consistently hit lands, but put Blanchwood Armour onto the mutate creature. And then that will trigger the Ivy as we see here, so both of the creatures are going to get equipped up with auras. That is +1/+1 per forest we control, which is 3 at the moment. Swinging in with both, they will lose the Pilferer, so we could be putting them into Wrath of God range, but we'll force them to have it. Got 7 commander damage on them already. Okay, playing their commander, Ginny Faye, suggests that they don't have a board wipe. And we draw into Gaia's Cradle, that's good. Especially if we start making beasts. So now that we've got a big creature, we'll give the Trumpeting Gnar flying, I think. Rune of Flight onto there. And Ivy will have flying twice as well. Main thing being that we draw twice for 2 mana. Clearing a couple of lands off the top is really good. So now we play Gaia's Cradle, tap that for 2 mana because we have 2 creatures. And Karametra's Favour is going to enchant our stuff now. And with those entering, it's a land and Treachery. Treachery could be useful, but I think our opponent's going to make a bunch of threatening tokens next turn. Turn everything in sideways, knock our opponent down to 22. They are on 12 commander now. Yep, Tireless Tracker will make some tokens for them on landfall. They do manage to make a land, turning the clue token into a dog token instead. And there we see Giant Opportunity. And that is simply make 3 food tokens. So, yep, the 3 food tokens turned into 3/1 Vigilance Dogs. And they whack us for 3 commander damage, but I think we're going to outrace them here. Wow, just drawing into lands though, annoyingly. So even though there's no use for Gemrazor, it is going to be a better body for at least the Ivy. So we're not going to blow anything up here, but I will upgrade Ivy to a base 4/4. So once again, enchanting the Trumpeting Gnar, and that will copy over to the Ivy. Trumpeting Gnar is a base 3/3, so that gets upgraded here as well. So put that over on both creatures. We get a couple of mutate triggers, one of which is the Gemrazor. That's useless, but we do get a 3/3 beast thanks to the Gnar. And then after that we'll go Tireless Tracker. Unfortunately untapping all these lands isn't going to be of much use to us, but we do copy the Treachery. So 1 going on the Tireless Tracker, 1 goes onto the Ivy, and we got to untap a Gaia's Cradle there as well. Luckily for my opponent there's nothing for us to do with all the mana. So turn everything in sideways again, and pretty sure we've outraced them at this point. Shamanic Revelation, luckily for us, isn't going to gain them any life. They've tapped out for that, so nothing they can do. And they decide to scoop it, so yeah, that was a pretty commanding one for us. Got to see the auras and mutate shenanigans there, which is what the deck is largely built around. We'll try another one. Ivy Gleeful Spellthief versus Nicol Bolas the Ravager. Decent hand there, we will keep. Tap land from our opponent. Think I will get down the Ivy here, especially with us having another land. Be good to make an additional landfall with the Scoot Swarm in play, so play out our commander, Ivy Gleeful Spellthief here. Now drawing into Mirrorhall Mimic. So, yeah, Ancient Tomb doesn't particularly help us here. We'll just throw out the Scoot Swarm and then swing in at my opponent for 2. Alright, so I might be holding up some counter magic here. We get into another land. So we can go for the Nature's Law first of all. Actually, should have done something else there. Let's go Breeding Pool, shock that in. Scoot Swarm triggers. I'm just thinking of going for the Irenicus's Val Duplication. Could have done that beforehand, so we had another Scoot Swarm in play. Well, doesn't matter. So we get some insects and point that at the Scoot Swarm. So that will copy the Gleeful Spellthief, and we'll say yes to that. So we're going to make a copy of the Ivy and a copy of Scoot Swarm as well. And it isn't legendary, because that's what that spell does. It makes a non-legendary copy. And now I'm worried about flash or something. I don't think they'll get down a flying flasher, but just in case, I'm not going to swing in. Fully expecting a board wipe here. Alright, well it's Grixis, so it's probably their commander. Alright, and that might actually help us because we've got the Mirror Hole Mimic here and we can disturb it, so we'll discard that. And probably just start making copies of the Ivy, I reckon. Alright, drawing into Mana Drain. Okay, so I'm going to hold off on the Disturb for now. Let's go Frog Tongue. I'll put that onto the token version of the Scoot Swarm. Holding off on the Disturb now that we've got Mana Drain. Definitely want to be holding that up. And as we can see, each Ivy is going to get a copy of the Frog Tongue here. So we're going to draw 3 cards for 1 green mana. And getting some lands, unfortunately. There's a Migratory Greathorn though, which is 3 mana. So we can still hold up the Mana Drain with that. So let's go for Migratory Greathorn. Mutate that onto the token copy of the Scoot Swarm again. And once again, the Ivies are going to trigger. So I'll have that go over the top because it's a better body, a 3/4 body. It'll still have the flying. And we'll do that for both of the Ivies. Go for an island with the first one. Ah, that's a shame. Our opponent decides to scoop it up there. Yeah, it's just getting interesting. So we get 3 Rampant Growths there. And we were going to have some 3/4 bodies. What happens there with Mutate, for the 2 of you that watched the deck tech video of Ivy, then you'll know this already, but Mutate over Scoot Swarm does still keep its ability, so with all the landfall and stuff we get multiple copies of Scoot Swarms, but they'd be 3/4s with the Mutate ability, and then Ivy's a bigger body to threaten commander damage with as well. Anyway, we will attempt another game, hopefully, 3rd time's a charm. Up against Dargo and Jeska now, which I'm guessing this is a CEDH deck. We will keep. Not sure there's too much use of getting out a turn 1 Sol Ring, but I'll do it anyway. Our opponent has a turn 1 Sol Ring as well as a Chrome Mox. Underneath the Chrome Mox they put a Ball Lightning, and down comes Jeska. Can we... yeah, we can go after a Planeswalker there, so I think that's what we do here. So giving them another land, but taking away their commander, and they're in red, so they're going to really struggle there. Yeah, we'll go for a tap land with the Misty Rainforest. Wily Goblin, going to make a treasure when it enters. And with that, sacrificing their Goblin, paying some mana into Dargo the Shipwrecker, which we do have an answer for in Vow of Wildness. Throwing out a Mog War Marshal as well, they're down to 2 cards in hand. Alright, so drawing to an island, that means we can throw down the island, we'll get down Ivy first of all, and then we point Vow of Wildness at the Dargo, making it so it can't attack us, and then that will trigger the Ivy still, even though we're pointing it at our opponent's stuff, so obviously not going to attack ourselves with our own commander, but we will get the +3/+3 buff, so making that a 10/8 that can't attack us, and we'll pass at that. They let their Mog War Marshal go, as you would expect, so that is replaced by a Goblin token, and tapping down a lot of mana into something. That is a Shatterskull Charger, so a 5/4 with Trample and Haste. Hopefully we can outrace. Okay, and then they just decide to scoop to that. Well, I've got a hell of a lot of commanders from this set to record for, so that is the best that I can get, unfortunately. No one seems to play games out on Magic Online, so apologies for that. I will try my damnedest to get more videos with Ivy if you want to see it. I'm not sure how much effort to put into each individual commander, because I don't know which commanders you're going to watch and which ones you are not, but I'll keep a close eye on the views and the thumbs up, so be sure to support there. If you'd like to see more from this commander, be sure to also support via the link in the description below. That will take you through to Patreon. Massive thank you to the patrons who support already. I'm tribalkai. Thank you for watching.